Hey everyone, this is Greg again. Going to do a quick solo Shadowdark adventure. I have a new, going to try it out. Um, it's not perfect yet, but I like where I'm getting to. I have a new Shadowdark map. I've been working on this one page Shadowdark adventure site. Um, and so once I've created this, that's what's crazy. This is just for a Shadowdark map. Now that I think about it, it doesn't have, I can move all this stuff on the other side. Because on the back side of these, I've been putting a character sheet and session notes. I could really I think the character sheet should be separate anyway. I think I might put a session notes down here and then move your settlement part here across the top. And that way, in one page, you can start it. This could be your first page. This is where I'm starting my sessions notes and then roll over and play your character. I think that's what I'll do. Anyway, before I decide to make something as fancy, I'm going to try this. And so what I did was on what I was doing prior on this my Shadowdark one page adventure sheet. I had my settlement, point of interest, NPC adventure, right, and then I do my adventure site, and I would just fill in my boxes. So I went up to 12 in case I had a 12-room dungeon. But luckily, mostly I've just been playing 5-room dungeons or taking my 5 rolls or 6 rolls or whatever size dungeon and basically sometimes putting it all together. Me and a friend of mine, and we'll probably see a little bit on it. Oh yeah, we are, because we're going to do a GM-less play. Me and a friend, kind of show you guys how to do GM-less play with 2 people with no GM. And so we created an adventure, and we rolled a 5-room dungeon. And as we were sitting there and thinking about how this dungeon would come about, we realized that the dungeon didn't need 5 rooms. But what we could do is we could take the 5 ideas that we had rolled on the paper and incorporate it into 2, maybe 3 rooms. And so it really built, really what I'm about, and I'll say this a million times, exactly what, and I saw Professor Dungeon Master last night talking about it when he creates adventures. Adventure needs to be played. He likes adventures that are played in one session. And so, and that means you have to get in, get out, and get going. And I know, because a lot of times you have one group, and even if you're doing a West Marches where you have 10 or 12 players in your group player pool, but you only pull a few that can show up to play at 4 or 5. Dad, burn it. Sorry, guys. I thought I'd clean this stuff out. I had a cold. I just haven't been able to knock out. And the anyway, so if you get 4 or 5 people to show up, you want to get something done that night. You don't want to leave something hanging, right? And so I'm really big on, if I get 2 or 3 hours to play with my friends, especially at our age and all the responsibilities that we have, let's get something done. And then once it's finished, if we can use it as a next starting point or whatever, and and maybe I just have a, I think if I think about my I was about to say my friends, it would just be like I said, Howard told Conan stories over telling short stories, right? He had one full length novel, and that's it. And so, but you get this whole world, and these just shorten each venture, right? And so I think that's something that everybody should. For me, that's what I want to shoot for. So anyway, um, so me and him sat down, and we were going to try to record it the other day, and we had technical difficulties. My internet kept going in and out, and I had to get a new wireless card. But anyway, not here nor there. But anyway, my point is that what I'm trying to do is, one thing about solo is I just like to go from one adventure to the other. And so that's what I'm going to do today. But I have this new hex. So what I did was, if you've seen my other book videos, I love these hex. I like to kind of hex my map. But at the same time, I wanted in a place that, okay, I could mark on my hex, but I wanted a place that I could place the descriptions on the box, kind of like when you see, they talk about a 2-page, or you see Kelsey has these 1-page dungeons, and it has everything on 1 page or maybe 2, a card or whatever. That's kind of what I want on 1 page. And so I was sitting there going, well, I got 12 boxes, so I put 12 boxes around it. I said, well, I like the hex, so I put the hex. So this is what I'm going to try today. So this is just using your Shadowdark map. I already have my hero. Hero is Torin, which, by the way, I have to change his hit points because someone reminded me the con bonus only goes on your first one. So he has 11 hit points, which is still good. So he is he's Torin the Outcast. He's a thief, and as you guys know, he resides in the city of Domain, which is kind of in the northern area, and of whatever map I'm on, And so he's in the northern area. He's kind of like an Arctic or, I think Northlands type thing. Not all the way cold all the time, not like the Arctic Circle, but you know what I mean. So he is a thief, and he is friends with Ryan the Wise, who Ryan he's been a caretaker of this wizard power. So there's this wizard tower university that is in Doraine, and they have a caretaker who takes care of their tombs and takes care of the graveyard and that type of area of of the university. And so he knows a lot of stuff in secret. He's called the Wise. He has got into gambling debt. That's what I rolled up. He has gambling debt. I need to write. I wrote it on one of these. I thought I did right here. He's got deep gambling debt. So he's in deep gambling debt. And he needs money. So what he's done is he's hired Torin to go find these things that he's found out over the years, right? Like things he's heard them talk about, maybe things that when they bury someone or whatever, he rifles through their pockets, they miss stuff, or maybe he sees runes on them and they can't decipher. But for whatever reason, Ryan has this ability to come up with these. He's always looking, and so when things come in, he contacts Torin. Torin runs off and does these adventures for him. And so, the first couple times he's got this crossbow of luck that he had went to this dwarven. He went out into the hills, to the mountains area, and found this dwarven area, and he took care of it. He did that for him. And then the last one, he was the caves of the frozen god. He has some old unholy thing is stalking the waste around, and so he had sent Torin out to go take care of this, and he had found one of the elven wizards there at the thing had been captured by this unholy thing that was stalking the waste, and so it was animated armor. I think that's what I made it. It's some kind of animated Holy Ghost, kind of old Holy Ghost, some kind of unholy ghost or whatever, something that he had been captured, right? And I can't remember the whole story, but you can go back and watch the last video. So he went and he rescued him, and by doing that, they gave him some. What did he get from them? Oh yeah, here it is, my session 2. Duh. He rescued an elven wizard, Balakish or something like that, from the school of wizardry, and they gave him arcane eye as a blessing they bestowed on it. So 3 times a day, he gets advantage on his attack, and so it's kind of more like archer eye or something like that. But he has this ability 3 times they had blessed him. They gave him a boon for saving the wizard. So now he's got this magical crossbow of luck. He went up to 2nd level. He is now 2nd level, and he has a let's see. In the first one, he found a pair of elf forged short swords that he carries, a crossbow, a luck +1, and he has his leather, his armor. I need to put all his gear stuff. He's got strength +2. Remember, I didn't do stats. I will change these in stats. I'm gonna make him a bigger character sheet as I go forward. But I'm gonna keep playing Torin because I love the idea of this outcast. He was at one time the Wizard's apprentice, and for whatever reason he didn't make it at the school. He became friends with Ryan the Wise, and now we have adventures. So let me get rolling because I have only a few minutes to play this morning, which should be the beauty of this solo dark. Let's see if I can get this done. Is a day of grandkids coming over, and so I'm full day, and I have about 30 minutes to play. So let's see if we can get something done. So what I'm going to do is we're going to roll up an adventure. Again, Ryan has called him and has said, hey, something's going on. I got something for you. What adventure does he have? So let's go over here and see. I know she has a dungeon generator, but does she have an adventure? No, she doesn't. She has the oracles. Get my oracles here. I need something to hold that thing down. You know what? I'll use my cell phone. I don't want my map to bow up. All right, so let's get our oracle percentile dice. I think y'all could see it. 6. Oh, it's not percentile dice. I was looking at the other one. 20-sided dice. It's 6. Return the 11 hostage. Stalk in the waste. I've got that one. I'm going to roll that one again because I've got that one. It's like 3 times. 5. Under the barrow mounds. Return. I need to add. See, that's why I'm doing this. Because return the. Let's see. What did I say? Return the hostage. Under the barrow mounds. Okay, so I'm going to have a barrow mounds that I have to return him to. So that is going to be return to hostage. Return to hostage. From the under the barrow mounds, return. What did I roll? Return the hostage under the barrow mounds. So I'm taking. Is it from the barrow mounds? Because it doesn't say. It doesn't have a from. All right, let's roll. I know it's barrow. Barrow of the 14. Blighted darkness or bleeding ravine. All right, well, barrow of the blighted darkness. Now, it would make sense that I would do, it would kind of make sense that it would be I'm going to roll on this one too, because this has so many more. 14. Of the bound, oh, that makes sense. 35. Undead. Okay, that makes more sense. Barrow of the bound undead. That's what I'm going with. Of the bound undead. Okay, I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to say that let's do something different in a way that Ryan had the wizards had brought in these bones and of, again, something undead. You get these bones, a skeleton of someone, and when they had pulled it out of this barrow, or the person who had brought it to him pulled it out of the barrow, he had put it in a box, and it was fully. When he had gotten this person out, maybe it's like a sarcophagus or whatever, and when he opened it up, the person was fully looked alive, right? Because in the barrel, when he opened it up, and they were in this barrow, and they pulled out this coffin, and the person. What was strange about it, the magical seal, is that the person was still intact, like they were sleeping, but they were dead. And so, but he blocks it. They grab it and they take it out of the tomb. But when they get to the wizard's tower, they open it up. It's only skeletons. Like the only way there's some kind of magical in this, because it's called the bounded undead. So this person's the only way you can get any of the stuff, the artifacts or whatever needed. I don't want to be artifacts all the time. I want it to be that there's a reason that they need to have this person fully. They had to be able to retrieve something. They need, okay. Like I said, I want to come up with something. I'm trying something different. So he's got to take these bones, and that way he can carry this hostage. I mean, hostage. I know I'm playing loosely with it, but I think, again, that's why it's called That's How I Roll. I can't roll in my box. 33. Investigate. 52. Investigate sorcery is what I rolled. So that's what's going on. So he needs to go back to this tomb, take them back, and because he used to be a winner's apprentice, he has a little bit of magical knowledge. So what could I'm going to give him as a winner's apprentice. You know, he has, as a wizard's apprentice, let's see. See, this is how you use so he has, I'm going to say that he has some type of ability to read magic. And because there's nothing in here that says these certain languages or whatever. It could be that he has he understands, you can permanently learn the wizard spells by studying the spell scroll. So there's nothing in here. It's almost like a given. Let me look under her magic real quick. It's almost like a given that the magic users have the ability, even trying beyond their reaches, invoke magic, spellcasting talent. With spellcasting talent can cast spells. Okay, so see, it doesn't have in here and then if you look at the spells, there's no spell for read magic. Right? I don't see one. There's detect magic, but not read magic. So he, being a wizard's apprentice, he's going to have some kind of ability to read magic, and so they're sending him back to take these bones, to sneak these bones back in there, and to take the bones back, and then so the body can reanimate, and when they do, they want him to, what did I roll? Investigate sorcery. So that's what it is. I mean, I'm not going to go, I ain't got much long to play, but that's the gist of it. So number 3, he is going to return bones and investigate, and I'll figure it out when I get there. Investigate sorcery. Okay, so he has some kind of form. Because of his wizard's apprentice, he's got some kind of ability to figure out. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to use, see what I'm saying? Like, the beauty of OSR, if you want to call it OSR or whatever, the mind frame of playing OSR is, since not too many of you watch my rambling video, which is fine, it is ramblings, but I had some things in it about GM's play. But one of the things about OSE, OSR style play, the thing about people look at it and go, well, I have a character sheet. It's so basic. But there's so many things that are on here that you can use and not use. So the fact that his background is a wizard's apprentice, and though he's a thief in his class, that means he's almost multi-class in certain ways, because as a DM and a player, you can sit there going, well, what does this mean? How can I use this? And so you can think of these things about Wizard's Apprentice. And let's look at the background of Wizard's Apprentice and see if it says, because under it has a little title, and that you can use things. Here we go, Wizard's Apprentice. You have a knack and eye for magic. So there you go. So he has an active knack for magic, even though he's not a wizard. He used to be one. So, but he has turned to a life of doing something different. So he's almost kind of a magic user thief. He's not as powerful. He doesn't have these spells, and maybe I will allow him to use scrolls and stuff like that. But or he can at least roll to identify. But it allows you to have your character just kind of come to life with just a little piece of paper. I got Torin, I have the Outcast, he's a half. All these things give me ideas for how this character works, and so he's going to. And I love how he's developing. It's just so much freaking fun. All right, so here we go. So I got my adventure. So what I need to do is roll. So what I'm gonna do is 5 rooms. Now again, it doesn't have to be totally 5 rooms. It could just be. Let's roll, and then we'll go from there. Shadowdark maps. I should best out my GM companion, because he has so many more things in there. But today I'm just going to go with this. And so, well, it is right there. Let's do that. I have it right here. All right, here we go. It's done by, he's got a great channel too. Was it Chubby Funster who does it? Greg Christopher. Of course it's a Greg. That's my name. But anyway, he does good products for here. So here's his Game Master. And so he has Dungeons, page 40. I should have got this in a wire bound or something, so it lays flat. All right, let's see. It's got a dungeon entrance, D6, 4, structural collapse, okay? So my entrance has structural collapse. Site is just going to be a 5-room dungeon. He has 5d20. We know it's a barrow. So he has a d20. So let's do this. 2. So the first room is going to be empty. And I'm just going to go straight down. And then I know the objective is supposed to be the highest one. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to side objective boss with the highest. I do play by that rule most of the time, but so here's my entrance, right? And so the reason I did this is my first one. So I rolled a 2, so this is empty. But what did I tell you? No room is an empty room. So it has a structural collapse is the door. So he gets there, and I always start. So if he starts, and maybe that's what happened, that when they removed this body, he started to remove it, and the place started, collapsing and crumbling. And so it's going to be a dangerous hazard. So he gets there, dungeon dressing table. Let's go there. I'm going to have to mark this so I can know. Page 80. That's what I see. All right, D100. This is a very good product. I do highly recommend it. I just wish I had it in a 01. Okay. Dungeon dresses. Copious amount of dark yellow-brown sand. So that makes sense that this, what had been left over from this, when I come in, it's just, the place is not completely empty, but it's telling me that, and then I could see, so what I will do is well, let's do all 5 of these. And so this is going to be, so it has sand. So this is going to be my room number 1. So I'm going to do one room here. It's going to be sand. That's going to remind me. Okay, then I'm going to do another room right here. And you know, I could do two like this where tomb branches off, right? And so in room number 2, which is going to be right here, and in room 3, this is why I did this, so I could just kind of do arrows. That's my room 1. Arrow, that's going to describe this room. That's going to describe this room. And then you can go in between here. So he has a choice which way to go. So dungeon, another D20. 17. Okay, so this is going to be a monster mob. And then 3 6 is going to be a trap. Okay, and I'll roll those in a minute. Okay, it says monster mob, use the average PC level. We'll get to that. And then trap severity is a D6. It's a 3, it's a normal. Okay, and so let's, choice, and then this is room 4, right? And this is 2, and this is 3. So room 4, I'm gonna go over here, and then I'm gonna make this one room 5, right? So I have my map, right? So no matter which way you go, he can either make 2 choices. One's a trapped way, one's some kind of monster mob in here. So let's see what's in 4. 7. Treasure is here. And then in 4. And then this was 9. I don't want NPC because that is making sense. 17. Again, monster mob. So this makes sense. So here, and these got to be undead because they removed. Let's say this person is some kind of noble. We'll look at this in a minute. So these are going to be undead. So by pulling him out of this tomb, and this is just how the burrow is set up. You come in, regular burrow, and it has the ground covered on the side, on top of it, and the dirt and everything. They built this thing and has some weaving passages. But to get to that, this is going to be where, the coffin needs to go. It's got to go here. The bones have got to be put back into the stone coffin that's here, right? And it's just a cool, just kind of a cool adventure. It gives someone different. It's not go rescue someone's sacrifice. It's this, we pulled something out, but you have to take it back so that we can investigate and figure out what what type of sorcery this is that does what this does, And so they're sending him to learn this. And so monster mob. So let's go on the level. The one thing I really like about let's look at. Let me go into traps. One thing I like about his book is he does do monster levels in here, so it's easier to pick up. Change over time, room type. I have this boss monster. 45 is dungeon traps is on 49. Let's go ahead and do that. That's the trap. D20. 12. Choking acid fog. So this is choking acid fog. The trigger 20 is alignment. Oh, interesting. So what alignment will that be? It's going to be 1, 2 is lawful, 3, 4 is neutral, 4, 5 is coward. So it's lawful. Okay, and then the damage effect 5, 1d6 panic. 1d6 damage plus 1d6 panic. Man, if you're not using Shadowdark to create your adventures, I don't know why you wouldn't. I don't know. I just don't know. So, monster mob. Let's roll d10. Even though, and this is the thing, like, even though I can find, probably what I end up doing, 3, rotting, challenging, and rutting, challenge and dominant. Rutting. Yeah, challenging and dominant, and then another detail. 3. they're held captive or restrained. Well, we already know that. We know they're going to be challenging and dominant, and they're restrained as tomb guards, right? So they can't leave. They're undead presence. They were here to do this, and so the people who made it through, and so made it through, somehow made it out with this body, escaped it. These undead came back. They're there, and so they're definitely going to be. Maybe they didn't come to life until the body was taken, and maybe it was a group of them that fought and got out. They just fought to run and get him out of there, but they can't leave. So we know that they're held captive. They're restrained by the structure, so by the barrel itself. So that's fine. We know this much, and then so we know this is the trap. So empty the sand. The sand is what, by having the sand in here, like I said, no room is empty, and what it should be is it should give clues, right? It should give a clue. So what they're going to see is they're going to see footprints. Okay, and so that footprints, this is going to tell them that in here was, and maybe in the sand they see some bones, right? Some killed skeletons that are kind of laying in the sand. The sand had covered up, but maybe it belonged, but it also showed the nature of their conflict and the thing that went on, with them leaving and all this kind of stuff. So coming in, they could see that Torin comes in. He's got these backbones and his stuff, and he's creeping in. He's got his crossbow ready, and he comes into the first room. And so then he sees that there's doors going left and right. And he doesn't know much because they don't know. They got the bones. They didn't give him much information about it except for where the tomb is. Oh, it looks funny. It's got a little nice little piece of art right here with the thief hiding behind him. It looks like gnolls. All right, let's go to monster type and see what levels we have for level 2 monsters. Monster tables 59. Man, I should have got this book in a so it lays flat. I don't know if that was an option, but boy, it would be a lot easier. All right, so my guy's a level 2. So let's there's not many cultists. Everything's in here. So it's skeleton. They have skeleton, zombies, ghouls. I think the ghoul will be my last creature. I think that will be I think ghouls have a. You know what? It almost makes sense because a ghoul, a gray skin, slavering undead, whipping tongue, and flat reptilian face. That's paralyzed, level 2. That's a pretty good. I think my ghoul will be my last one. Ooh, how about a ghast? That would be my greater ghoul later on. Carrying stench. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a ghast. I know it says monster mob, but the way I look at it is these are the ones. So this is going to be skeletons. Okay. And they're going to be throughout the adventure. And then this is going to be, it's a monster mob. But see, she doesn't really have like a death knight or anything that's, but those are all, well, all these tropes have been used before. But I don't think she has a death knight in here of some kind, which would be cool. Last time I used animated armor to kind of do that, but I don't think she has a knight. Nope, she has a knight. So I could flip it and have it be a death knight at the end. And then, but I like the ghast. Let's just use the ghast. Don't overthink it. Characters don't care. Even if you're running a party through this, they're not going to care if there's a... but there will be a treasure here. And that treasure will have to be... Let me see what it says here. I forgot to roll on my treasure. Let's roll on the treasure. See how much time I got. Oh, I got 10 more minutes. Let's see. I got about 10 minutes. My great kids are coming. It might be that I roll this adventure up. Treasure, dungeon dressing, 0 through 3, 84. What's in here? Again, go check out his site and get this book. It's a good book. D100. 09, man, I got a 0 today. A small sheepskin pouch containing a few grams of seeds. That makes no sense for this adventure. So let's see. 75. Ah, the horn of a demon polished and carved for drinking. That makes sense. So, the horn of a demon. And that makes sense about this, and here's why. Horn of a demon. And that is, another cool thing, a monster mob that we did in one of the last adventure. We created our own final boss, and that was pretty cool. Horn of a demon, 40 gold pieces. See, that could lead to another adventure, right? So, but here it is, that the trap is against lawful. And as you know, Torin is lawful. So Torin, so this would make sense that this has some form of evil presence, that maybe this body, the reason that this body is here is because of some kind of pact with a demon or a devil or whatever that made this, that, yeah, I'm going to horn of a demon. Oh my gosh. Boy, that's just the, you know what? Today it might just be character, it might just be dungeon creation because I don't have a lot of time. Because like I said, I thought I'd have it, but I got off tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon I could run it. So let's do this. Let's do I'm going to do this as a dungeon creation video. So if this adventure is going to be Barrow of the Bounded Undead. And so that's the whole point of the adventure. And I got these right here. So it's going to return bones. So the wizard school. So if you wanted to use something like this, like if you wanted to take this and play it, so the wizard school received a casket, supposedly from this barrow, right? It's bounded undead and whatever it was really has. I'll probably get another. I mean, it doesn't really matter because his name, but someone found this barrow. They pulled this body out. They brought it, and the strange thing is when they pulled it out of the tomb, the body was pristine and whole, right? But it was whole. But then once they opened it at the wizard school, it was only bones. And so, if you're going, so that is the setup of the adventure. And so the adventure itself will be to return the bones to the sarcophagi. I'm not going to spell it right. I'm going to probably get close. Return it to the sarcophagi and to find out and to investigate the sorcery. Okay? Find out why. And maybe there's something written, because when they went into this and they opened it up and they pulled it out, maybe there's something written on it that the people who grabbed it had no idea. Maybe it's, and also, so it has to be written in diabolical. Okay? Because we know that there's some kind of, so we know this was kind of blighted darkness. So we know that this has some kind of, again, some kind of taint to it. So who is this person and why? And then, so this is adventure, and then once it's returned, so I'm going to call this climax, denouement, what I want to call it, but, the mystery is going to be, diabolical writing, and something's going to be in this crypt. So what's going to be in here? Let's see if there's some more oracle stuff in here. What are they going to learn about this magic? Let's do some prompts here. 49. 62. Okay, Fortify Pain is what I rolled. Fortify Pain. So, okay, that's the... Maybe he made a pact with this demon. So it's Fortify Pain. Because, see, this can lead to a next adventure. So we learn that from the diabolical language, maybe some kind of poem or something that says, we learned that the person who is here, whoever this person is, maybe we learn a little bit about, maybe he's a king, a ruler or something from a long time ago, and that he was promised eternal life in a way, but the demon tricked him, and he gave him an eternal life, like he would be, his body would be, ooh, maybe it comes to life. Maybe there's something on there, ooh, on the coffin that makes him talk, that they can get speech from. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Okay, cool. Anyway, so this is just to create an adventure. I was going to run Torin. I will run Torin through this adventure, and we'll see how it plays out. But what I want to do today, since I only have a little time, is create an adventure. So I created an adventure, returned a hostage to the barrow mounds. And so, like I said, Wizard School, someone brought in a casket. They brought in this body. They had pulled there was a casket inside the stone sarcophagi or whatever, and they pulled it out, and it was a full body, whole body. But when they got to the Wizard School, they dropped it off because it was like, oh, this is some ancient king or whatever. We invaded his tomb. Here's the sarcophagi. They sold it to the Wizard School. They opened it up. Now it's just bones, when they were told it was whatever. And so they come to find out that there's some kind of magic that was going on, and they send Torin. They put these bones back in a bag, and they say, take them back, put them in the sarcophagi, and see what happens. And I know that kind of makes, well, if it was, those bones have to be together. No, it's going to be, if you put the bones back in, it reanimates and reforms, knits together. And that would be a cool scene for your characters, that they put it in, and you see this body come back together. So that's what it's going to be. And so this is, so this will be your trap encounter, right? And this will be your combat, and then here's going to be your treasure. It's going to give them something to find. And this horn of this demon could have something to do. I'm going to put a question mark. Does this horn give you some identification of what's kind of going on in here? Because I really like that each room, the whole tone, the whole theme of the adventure plays out. So here you go. So I have an adventure real quick. I mean, you heard me talk. Maybe you can build it yourself. But if you think this is a cool adventure, let me know. Like I said, gotta go run, play with the grandkids today. So y'all have a great week. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.